Have you ever wondered why Jesus came specifically from the tribe of Judah and not from another tribe? There is a very interesting and important explanation behind this choice that goes beyond what many people know. In this video, we will explore the scriptures and prophecies to understand why exactly Judah was the chosen tribe to bring the Messiah into the world. Together, we will uncover Bible secrets and revelations that might change your perspective on how everything was planned. Don't forget to subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss the upcoming videos. The genealogical line of Jesus, tracing from Abraham to David, is crucial for understanding how he is a descendant of the tribe of Judah. Abraham, revered as the father of faith, received a divine promise from God that he would become the progenitor of a great nation. This promise marked the beginning of a significant lineage that would eventually lead to the birth of Jesus Christ. Abraham had two notable sons, Ishmael, born to Hagar, and Isaac, born to Sarah. Despite Ishmael's prominence, the covenant and promises of God were specifically tied to Isaac, marking a crucial distinction in the divine plan. Isaac, in turn, had two sons, Esau and Jacob. The narrative takes a pivotal turn when Jacob, through a series of significant events, obtained the birthright from Esau. The birthright encompassed privileges and blessings typically reserved for the firstborn, including leadership and spiritual authority. Jacob, who would later be named Israel, became the patriarch of the 12 tribes of Israel. This transition of the birthright from Esau to Jacob was a critical moment in biblical history, setting the stage for the unfolding of God's promises. Among Jacob's 12 sons, Judah emerged as a particularly significant figure in the genealogy of Jesus. Judah's importance is highlighted in Old Testament prophecies, which indicate that the lineage of the Messiah would come through him. The blessings and prophecies concerning Judah are detailed in various parts of the Old Testament, including Genesis 49, where Jacob, on his deathbed, blesses his sons and prophesies about their futures. Jacob's blessing of Judah, describing him as a lion's cub and predicting that the scepter will not depart from Judah until Shiloh comes, underscores Judah's central role in the messianic lineage. The genealogical connection between Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Judah demonstrates the unfolding of God's plan through generations. This lineage not only underscores the fulfillment of God's promises, but also establishes the foundation for the Messiah's arrival. The transition from Abraham's promise to David's kingship illustrates the continuity and faithfulness of God's covenant, culminating in Jesus, who is born into this royal line of Judah. Thus, understanding the genealogical line from Abraham to David is essential for recognizing the legitimacy and significance of Jesus' descent from the tribe of Judah. Everything began to materialize when Jacob blessed his sons before dying. It was expected that one of the older sons, like Reuben, Simeon, or Levi, would lead the tribe and continue the special lineage. However, grave moral errors disqualified each of these older sons from the role of the firstborn. Despite Reuben's right to leadership as the firstborn, he committed a serious moral lapse by involving himself with Bilhah, his father's concubine, as recounted in Genesis 35:22. This inappropriate behavior likely cost Reuben the opportunity to lead. Similarly, when Dinah, Jacob's daughter, was violated, her brothers Simeon and Levi, acting out of intense anger and a desire for revenge, orchestrated a brutal scheme against the city where the perpetrator lived. They deceitfully persuaded the men of the city to undergo circumcision under the pretense of forming an alliance. While the men were in a vulnerable state of recovery, Simeon and Levi attacked and killed them all. This violent act of vengeance was driven by a profound sense of injustice and retribution for their sister's abuse. Jacob, upon learning of this massacre, issued a stern and severe rebuke to Simeon and Levi. He condemned their actions not only for the brutality and deception involved, but also for the repercussions it had on their family's reputation and safety. Jacob's rebuke was a clear indication that their conduct was unacceptable and had severe implications for their future roles within the family. Their violent response and disregard for the broader consequences of their actions demonstrated qualities that were antithetical to the ideals of leadership and justice expected of those who would carry forward the promised lineage. The intensity of Simeon and Levi's vengeance, combined with their willingness to resort to extreme violence, marked a significant departure from the qualities needed to lead the family and fulfill the divine promises associated with the messianic line. Their actions revealed a dangerous inclination towards retaliation and cruelty, rather than the mercy, wisdom, and righteousness that were essential for continuing the lineage that was promised to be blessed and set apart by God. These failures of Simeon and Levi underscore a critical shift from the initial expectations that they, as the eldest sons, would inherit the leadership and spiritual authority within the family. Their disqualification from the messianic line highlights the importance of moral and ethical integrity in the fulfillment of divine promises. The narrative shows that the path to leadership and the carrying forward of God's promises required more than just familial status. It demanded a character consistent with God's standards of justice and righteousness. This departure from the original expectations significantly impacted the lineage and led to a reassessment of which of Jacob's sons would be chosen to fulfill the divine plan. In this context, among Jacob's sons, Judah, despite having his own flaws, was chosen to play a fundamental role in the lineage of Jesus. The prophecy about the Messiah found in the Old Testament begins to reveal itself through the patriarch Jacob when he blesses his sons before his death. In Genesis 49:10, Jacob makes an important prediction about Judah, stating that the leadership will not depart from the tribe of Judah until Shiloh comes, to whom all the peoples will obey. This prophecy identifies Judah as the source of a royal and governing lineage. Shiloh is generally seen as a reference to the Messiah, suggesting that a new leader and ruler would arise from him. The connection between the prophecy and the choice of Judah as the lineage from which Jesus would come becomes clear in Christ's own genealogy. When Jacob blessed his son Judah, he mentioned something very special, as recorded in Genesis 49:9. Jacob compared Judah to a young lion who, after hunting, lies down peacefully, demonstrating strength and majesty. No one would dare to disturb him. This use of the lion imagery to describe Judah is very powerful in the scriptures, symbolizing power, courage, and leadership. Judah was destined to be a leader among the tribes of Israel. This image of the lion gains even more significance when, in the gospel texts, Jesus is referred to as the Lion of the tribe of Judah. This points to his authority as king and his role as the awaited Messiah, reinforcing the idea that he comes from a lineage of great importance and power. In the book of Revelation, chapter 5, verse 5, there is a compelling and vivid scene where the Apostle John witnesses a powerful vision. He sees a lion from the tribe of Judah, who is also described as the root of David, emerging victorious after overcoming a significant and formidable challenge. This striking imagery is not just a poetic or symbolic expression, but a direct reference to Jesus Christ. It underscores his majesty and sovereign authority, portraying him as a king with the strength and capability to triumph over all obstacles and adversities. The lion, a recurring symbol throughout the Bible, represents more than mere physical prowess. It embodies qualities of leadership, courage, and regal authority. The association of the lion with the tribe of Judah reflects not only the tribe's historical significance, but also its divine selection for a role of immense importance in God's plan. The lion symbolizes the strength and power necessary for effective and just rule, aligning with the qualities expected of the Messiah. By choosing Judah as the lineage through which the Messiah would come, God underscores his unwavering faithfulness in fulfilling his promises of salvation. The choice of Judah highlights a deliberate and profound aspect of God's divine plan, which involves the emergence of a royal lineage from this specific tribe. This decision was not random, but part of a meticulously orchestrated plan that spans centuries and is deeply rooted in the promises made to the patriarchs of Israel. In this context, the reference to Jesus as the Lion of Judah and the root of David serves to reinforce his unique role as the fulfillment of Old Testament prophecies. It signifies his rightful place as the ultimate king, one who not only inherits the legacy of David, but also embodies the divine attributes necessary for the salvation of humanity. The depiction of Jesus in this way highlights his role as the fulfillment of God's promises, and the realization of a long-awaited hope. The imagery of the lion from Judah also connects to the broader biblical narrative, where Jesus is portrayed as the one who brings justice, peace, and redemption. This powerful representation aligns with the expectations of a Messiah, who would establish a reign characterized by righteousness and divine authority. Thus, the choice of Judah as the tribe from which the Messiah would come serves as a testament to the enduring faithfulness of God and the fulfillment of his promises throughout the course of biblical history. When examining this from a theological perspective, we see a unique union of divine characteristics and purposes. For instance, in Genesis, when Jacob makes predictions about Judah, he not only points to the leadership and royal power that would continue through this lineage, but also highlights that people would obey him, indicating a special authority and messianic role attributed to Judah. Judah's role as the lineage of the Messiah has a theological foundation that can be understood by looking at the loyalty of this tribe and its crucial role in the fulfillment of the promises made by God. A notable example from this lineage is King David, a distinguished descendant of Judah who is celebrated as one of Israel's most revered monarchs. David's reign was marked by significant achievements, including military victories, the consolidation of the kingdom, and the establishment of Jerusalem as its capital. His leadership and deep devotion to God earned him a place of high regard in the history of Israel. In recognition of David's faithfulness and the pivotal role he played in shaping the nation, God made a profound and enduring promise to him. This promise, detailed in 2 Samuel 7, assured David that his throne would remain established forever, signifying the emergence of a messianic king who would come from his line. This declaration was not merely a statement of royal succession, but a divine assurance that a future descendant of David would fulfill a critical role in God's redemptive plan for humanity. The name Judah itself carries deep significance, meaning praise or thanksgiving to God. This etymology underscores the tribe's intrinsic connection to worship and reverence for the divine. The designation reflects the tribe's historical role in upholding the principles of faith and gratitude toward God. Throughout its history, the tribe of Judah exhibited remarkable faithfulness and commitment to God's commandments and covenant, which made it a fitting and meaningful choice as the origin of the Messiah. The tribe of Judah's history is characterized by a consistent dedication to maintaining the integrity of their spiritual and religious heritage. Despite challenges and periods of strife, Judah remained a central figure in the narrative of Israel's relationship with God. This steadfast loyalty and adherence to divine principles reinforced the tribe's suitability as the lineage from which the Messiah would emerge. David's legacy and the promise made to him establish a profound connection between his lineage and the coming of the Messiah. The expectation that the Messiah would be a descendant of David is not just a fulfillment of a royal lineage, but also a testament to the continuity of God's promises through generations. This royal heritage from Judah symbolizes the divine plan of salvation, linking the faithfulness of the tribe to the ultimate realization of God's promise in Jesus Christ. Thus, the significance of Judah as the tribe from which the Messiah would come is deeply rooted in its historical, spiritual, and theological context. The tribe's legacy of worship, devotion, and enduring faithfulness makes it a central element in the unfolding of God's redemptive plan, culminating in the arrival of Jesus Christ, who embodies the fulfillment of divine promises and the ultimate expression of God's love and salvation. When comparing the tribe of Judah to the other tribes of Jacob, it becomes evident that Judah was chosen for a very special reason to be the lineage from which the Messiah would come. All 12 tribes of Israel had their unique qualities and roles in the history of the Israelite people. For example, the tribe of Levi was chosen to handle the priestly duties, while the tribe of Joseph, divided between Ephraim and Manasseh, received particular blessings. Each tribe, including others like Reuben and Simeon, played an important role in various aspects of the life and culture of Israel. However, the choice of Judah to bring forth the Messiah is based not only on individual characteristics, but on a profound theological significance that highlighted Judah in a special and important way within the divine plan. When Jacob, the patriarch, was giving his final blessings to his sons, he highlighted special qualities in Judah that would make him important for a unique role in the history of salvation. In Genesis 49, Jacob describes Judah as a lion, symbolizing strength, leadership, and majesty. These qualities would be crucial for the mission of bringing the Messiah through his descendants. By closely examining the Bible's stories, we can notice small details and decisions that show how everything was meticulously planned in divine purposes, preparing the way for the lineage of Jesus. The story of Joseph is a vivid example of how divine providence acted in the selection of the tribe of Judah for an essential role in the messianic lineage. It all began when Joseph was chosen by his father, who gave him a richly ornamented robe as a sign of favor, marking the start of a series of significant events. The gift Joseph received from his father caused much envy among his brothers, to the point where they conspired against him, even planning his death. However, Judah intervened with a suggestion that would change the course of events. Instead of killing Joseph, he proposed selling him as a slave. This decision became a pivotal moment in biblical history, with far-reaching and profound consequences for the lineage of Judah and the broader fulfillment of divine plans established by God. In Genesis 37:26-27, Judah addresses his brothers with a pragmatic perspective. "What will we gain if we kill our brother and cover up his blood? Come, let's sell him to the Ishmaelites and not lay our hands on him. After all, he is our brother, our own flesh and blood." His suggestion is met with agreement from his brothers, marking a crucial shift in their actions. This choice was not merely a decision of immediate convenience, but one that would reverberate through the ages. By opting to sell Joseph into slavery rather than committing murder, Judah inadvertently preserved Joseph's life. This act of selling Joseph to the Ishmaelites, who were traders, set into motion a chain of events that would ultimately impact the entire future of the Israelite people. Once Joseph arrived in Egypt, his journey took a series of dramatic turns orchestrated by divine providence. Through a combination of wisdom, resilience, and the favor of God, Joseph rose from the depths of slavery to become a trusted advisor to Pharaoh. His newfound position of great influence was instrumental in navigating Egypt through a period of severe famine, which threatened the survival of many nations, including his own family in Canaan. Joseph's ascent to power and his subsequent management of Egypt's resources during the famine not only ensured the survival of countless lives, but also created an opportunity for reconciliation and restoration within his own family. The reunion with his brothers, who had once sought to rid themselves of him, became a profound narrative of forgiveness and divine orchestration. The implications of Judah's decision extended beyond Joseph's personal story. It was a moment that significantly contributed to the preservation and continuation of the lineage from which the Messiah would eventually come. The salvation of Joseph and the subsequent reunion with his brothers were not isolated events, but part of a larger divine strategy to fulfill God's promises to Abraham and his descendants. In essence, Judah's decision to sell Joseph rather than kill him illustrates the interplay of human actions and divine sovereignty. It highlights how seemingly ordinary decisions can lead to extraordinary outcomes within the grand narrative of salvation history. This act preserved the life of a future key figure in God's plan and ensured that the lineage of Judah would continue, ultimately leading to the fulfillment of the messianic prophecies. Thus, the decision made by Judah was instrumental in shaping the course of biblical history. It ensured that Joseph would rise to a position where he could save many lives, including those of his own family, and set the stage for the continuation of the divine promises made to the patriarchs. This event underscores the profound interconnectedness of individual choices and divine purposes, revealing how God can work through human decisions to bring about his greater plans for humanity. Judah's decision to sell Joseph rather than kill him had a profound significance. By opting for the sale, God used that event to shape history in important ways. Unknowingly, Judah played a crucial role in God's plans, helping to maintain the continuity of Jacob's family. The reunion of Joseph with his brothers symbolizes not only reconciliation and forgiveness between them, but also underscores Judah's importance in the lineage that would lead to the Messiah. The descendants of Judah became central to the manifestation of the Messiah, fulfilling Jacob's prophecy that the scepter would not depart from Judah until Shiloh comes, alluding to the arrival of the promised leader. Another interesting episode that demonstrates divine action is the story of Tamar found in Genesis 38. Tamar was Judah's daughter-in-law and had been married to two of his sons, and Onan, who died young. According to the Levirate tradition, which stipulated that a brother should marry the widow of another to preserve the lineage, Tamar was to marry Shelah, Judah's third son, when he grew older. However, Judah did not follow through with this tradition, possibly fearing that Shelah would also die like his brothers. Realizing that Judah would not fulfill his promise to marry her to Shelah, Tamar took drastic measures to secure her future. She disguised herself as a prostitute and placed herself in Judah's path. Judah, not recognizing her, approached and became involved with her. Since he had no money at the time, Tamar asked for something to keep as a pledge until he could pay her. Judah then gave her his seal cord and staff. Later, when it became clear that Tamar was pregnant, she sought out Judah to inform him of the news. Judah was initially very angry because he did not know Tamar had disguised herself and thought she had acted immorally. Accusing her of deceit, he demanded an explanation. It was then that Tamar revealed her strategy by showing the items Judah had left with her as a pledge. Realizing what had happened, Judah admitted his mistake and acknowledged that Tamar had acted more righteously than he had. Tamar gave birth to twins, Perez and Zerah, with Perez becoming an important ancestor in the lineage leading to the Messiah. This story, which demonstrates Tamar's resourcefulness and how divine providence worked to preserve the lineage of Judah, illustrates how God can use complex situations and even decisions made by people to fulfill his plans. God's action ensured that the lineage leading to the Messiah continued through Judah, preparing the way for the arrival of the Savior. In addition to these pivotal stories, it is crucial to consider the promise made to David, which underscores the profound significance of the tribe of Judah in the broader narrative of biblical history. David, a revered king and a descendant of Judah, received a divine promise that profoundly shaped the future of Israel and the lineage leading to the Messiah. The promise made to David is recorded in 2 Samuel 7:12-13, where God assures David that his lineage will endure forever. "When your days are over and you rest with your ancestors, I will raise up your offspring to succeed you, your own flesh and blood, and I will establish his kingdom. He is the one who will build a house for my name, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever." This covenant was not merely a royal endorsement, but a prophetic declaration that David's descendants would play a pivotal role in God's redemptive plan. The Gospels of Matthew and Luke, in their genealogical records, meticulously trace Jesus' lineage back to David, thus establishing Jesus' rightful place within this promise. Matthew's genealogy, found in Matthew 1:16, begins with a direct reference to Jesus as the Son of David, emphasizing his connection to the royal lineage and fulfilling the Old Testament prophecies. This genealogy traces Jesus' descent through David and the tribe of Judah, reinforcing his credentials as the Messiah and rightful heir to the throne. Similarly, the Gospel of Luke provides a genealogical account in Luke 3:23-38, which also traces Jesus' lineage back to David. Though the details differ slightly from Matthew's account, Luke's genealogy emphasizes Jesus' connection to David and thus to Judah, highlighting the continuity of the divine promise across the generations. This genealogy not only establishes Jesus' royal heritage, but also underscores his fulfillment of the messianic expectations rooted in the Old Testament. The significance of tracing Jesus' lineage back to David, and by extension to Judah, cannot be overstated. It reaffirms the divine fidelity to the promises made to the patriarchs and demonstrates the intricate fulfillment of God's plan for salvation through a specific lineage. By placing Jesus within the context of David's royal line, the Gospels underscore the continuity of God's promises and the realization of the messianic prophecy that had been anticipated for centuries. Furthermore, the genealogical records serve to validate Jesus' legitimacy as the Messiah by linking him to David, a revered and pivotal figure in Israel's history. This connection not only establishes Jesus' rightful place within the Jewish tradition, but also affirms his role as the fulfillment of the Old Testament prophecies concerning the coming of a Savior from the house of David. Thus, the promise made to David and the genealogical records of Jesus highlight the deep and abiding significance of the tribe of Judah in the narrative of salvation. They demonstrate how God's promises were carefully preserved and fulfilled through specific lineages, ensuring that Jesus' role as the Messiah was rooted in the rich history of Israel and the divine covenant established with David. This connection enriches our understanding of Jesus' place within the broader framework of biblical history and reaffirms the profound importance of the tribe of Judah in the story of redemption. This demonstrates that Jesus, as a descendant of that tribe, is the fulfillment of an ancient prophecy, reinforcing the divine promise throughout the history of the people of Israel. David, who was chosen by God to be king, left a lasting legacy in the development of Israel. His reign was marked by military conquests, the growth of the country, and the establishment of Jerusalem as the capital. The promise God made to David is recorded in 2 Samuel 7 and is one of the most significant moments in the history of Israel. In this promise, God assures that a descendant of David will reign forever, pledging, "I will establish a place for my people Israel, and will plant them so that they may have a home of their own and no longer be disturbed. Wicked people will not oppress them anymore, as they did at the beginning." This promise has a profound messianic significance, anticipating the coming of a king who would bring stability, justice, and an everlasting reign. The connection to the tribe of Judah is further illuminated through various prophecies, which unequivocally indicate that the promised king would come from the lineage of David and belong to the tribe of Judah. This lineage is crucial in understanding the fulfillment of these ancient prophecies, particularly as they point to Jesus Christ as the ultimate fulfillment of God's promises. One of the most significant prophecies is the promise made to David, which is recorded in 2 Samuel 7:12-13. God assured David, saying, "When your days are over and you rest with your ancestors, I will raise up your offspring to succeed you, your own flesh and blood, and I will establish his kingdom. He is the one who will build a house for my name, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever." This divine assurance to David set the stage for a royal lineage that would endure through all generations, culminating in the coming of the Messiah. The promise not only foretold the establishment of a lasting dynasty, but also the construction of a temple, reflecting the sacred nature of the future king's reign. Following David's death, his son Solomon ascended to the throne and became the king of Israel. Solomon's reign was marked by unprecedented prosperity and growth for the nation of Israel. His wisdom, renowned throughout the ancient world, contributed to a period of peace and expansion. Solomon's just rule earned him international acclaim, and his construction of the temple in Jerusalem fulfilled part of the promise made to his father David. The temple became a central place of worship, symbolizing the presence of God among his people and affirming the divine blessing upon Solomon's reign. However, despite the initial success and stability of Solomon's rule, challenges began to arise over time. As Solomon's reign progressed, his administration faced increasing difficulties, including internal dissent and external pressures. His policies and alliances, including his marriages to foreign princesses, introduced influences that gradually led to a weakening of the kingdom's unity and adherence to God's commandments. After Solomon's death, the United Kingdom of Israel experienced a significant division. The once cohesive nation split into two rival kingdoms, the northern kingdom, known as Israel, and the southern kingdom, known as Judah. This division marked a turning point in the history of Israel, as the two kingdoms would now pursue separate paths with distinct political and religious developments. In the northern kingdom of Israel, various wicked kings arose who led the people into idolatry and disobedience against God. These kings, influenced by foreign religions and practices, departed from the covenantal laws given to the nation. Their reigns contributed to a series of events that culminated in the eventual downfall and exile of the northern kingdom. The Assyrian conquest and the subsequent dispersion of the 10 northern tribes marked a significant and tragic chapter in Israel's history. In contrast, the southern kingdom of Judah, while also experiencing periods of moral and spiritual decline, managed to retain the Davidic line of kings. Despite facing its own share of challenges and periods of unfaithfulness, Judah maintained a continuity of leadership from the house of David, preserving the royal lineage through which the Messiah was prophesied to come. The resilience of Judah amid political turmoil and idolatry underscored the importance of the Davidic covenant and the role of this tribe in the unfolding plan of salvation. Thus, the connection to the tribe of Judah, rooted in the divine promise made to David, demonstrates a profound continuity in God's redemptive plan. This lineage, despite its challenges and divisions, remained central to the fulfillment of the messianic prophecies. The ultimate arrival of Jesus Christ as a descendant of David from the tribe of Judah reaffirmed the enduring nature of God's promises and the intricate ways in which divine plans are fulfilled across generations. Although both kingdoms had their ups and downs, Judah managed to maintain its royal lineage, which eventually led to the birth of Christ. During an invasion by the Assyrians, the northern kingdom was destroyed, resulting in the disappearance of 10 of the tribes of Israel from history. However, the lineage of Judah proved resilient among the 12 sons of Jacob. Judah stood out as a survivor, keeping the flame of divine leadership alive. This development, aligned with prophecies, confirmed that true leadership was destined for the tribe of Judah. By choosing Judah, God not only fulfilled the prophecies, but also laid a solid foundation for Jesus' mission on earth. The lineage of Judah represents the continuity of the promise of a Savior, and the fulfillment of that promise in Jesus Christ demonstrates the immense love and wisdom of God. Understanding Judah's selection helps us appreciate the grandeur of the divine plan and recognize God's authority in the process of redemption. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you've watched this far, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel to keep up with our upcoming content. Sending a hug, and God bless you.